Welcome to Love Them Knives, LTK here. Have you ever asked yourself, these funky off-brand knives, is that steel real? And what's the heat treat like? Well, my friends, we got the answers. Hey guys, LTK here, Love Them Knives channel. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, have you asked yourself, and I've been asked many times, of course, because I throw an assortment of knives up on my channel. Some are just kind of the odd brands and not very well recognized in the knife community. Getting better recognized, But off brands, even these guys that make these knockoffs, Green Thorn, who are these people? What's all this AliExpress DH Gate stuff? All these knives, except for this, you can pretty much buy on AliExpress or DH Gate. But is it real stuff? How's the heat treat? What's going on? And I get questions about that all the time. And thank God, because I've been bitching and moaning about there is no independent testing group. There should be. The knife industry should have some testing facility or something where they run these tests. It just drives me crazy. I mean, poor Cedric, down there doing cut tests, and it's like, I wear my arm out, plus I'm lazy, so I ain't gonna do that. But how do you know, other than, cutting tests, you need to know, is the steel real? Well, thank God, one of the viewers, his name is Kurt, he's out on the East Coast in Pennsylvania at a big steel fabrication plant. They've got the analyzer gun, they got the testing equipment, and he says, I'd be happy to test some stuff for you if you want. And I said, how much? Our budget's really small, but in any case, no. He says, yeah, I can access the equipment, so no problem with that. I just want to help you out, and I want to know more too. So, and I said, well, I'll load a box of knives up, send it to you. So, to ya, just kidding. So I'm curious, and I'm going to send more knives out for testing. So I sent them to him. He tested them. He took pictures. He gave me printouts and sent it back. And I was shocked. I mean, all these steels, they tested true. Is this CH knife? You can buy anywhere from $28 to $35. It says D2 steel. Is it really D2 steel? And guess what? Yeah, sure is. Wow. So then it's like, well, how about the S35 VN on this CH knife? And I have several CH knives in S35. I just sent one. And you know what? I'm going to send some more in the future. So here's the deal. If you're a metal fabrication facility, and you have the analyzer gun, but that analyzer gun has got to be able to pick up, the elements and give you a readout. There's the gun. I tried to look these up on eBay, and I think it was like $16,000 to $19,000. So it's a few bucks, right? In any case, if you have a database loaded into your analyzer to detect certain metals, and you're going to load the database that has something to do with what you work on. D2 is one that they work on. Other types of tool steel also, but they're not fabricating knives. So they're doing oil and gas equipment, things like that. So the D2, that'll read out. But the other metals, S35, CTSXHP, M390, those kinds of things, they're not gonna give you a reading, but they will give you, an elemental breakdown here. You can compare it with the actual formula that you can get from the steel producer, but we didn't do that. We didn't do that. Here's what I did. For the S35, because we were just testing D2, S35, VN, and M390 for now. And we're going to test some other things later, and it may not be so important about whether the steel is real, but what's the Rockwell like? What's the HRC? So this I sent him is what I got from Bento Box, Spyderco M390. So he can shoot this one with the gun. He can get that readout and he can compare it with, well, they say this is M390. Whoops, they say this is M390. Is it? Well, you can compare back to back with that. And here's the S35, because I figured these Spydercos, I mean, this is the real thing. So this is a reliable metal that you can test against. And this is the S35. These are both a couple of para 3 knives. So what are we going to do? Yeah, and these actually, by the way, Rockwell at 59.6 each. Both of them just exact same. So that was pretty crazy. In any case, so we're going to go through the test results in case you're interested. And if you're not, I'm boring you to death. But let's do it. I'll tell you what. Hold on. Let's just back some of these off a little bit and we can kind of go one at a time. Because we've got pictures of the actual Rockwell, you know. So he actually took a picture with, of course, the knife on there. That's one of the Green Thorn knives. And so it's the M390 one. I can tell you right now, it's 59 point something Rockwell on that. And it is M390. But the sheet here, and let's talk about the TwoSun first. I know we're just kind of discombobulated, but I just wanted to throw this information out into the market for discussion. And he wrote, he wrote on the back, but I wanted to write on the front because I wanted to scan all this stuff in so I could keep it digitally, and I didn't, wasn't going to scan the back as well. So I put this up, and also for the camera's sake, that you can see all this on one page. Okay, so here is the TwoSun, the TS80. This is a Vitesse design. And this is a fairly recent production that they've done, okay? And titanium scales, that kind of thing. So is it real titanium? I mean, you can look at that too. Any case, so here's the deal. Yes, it said D2, because that's in their database, so it'll actually tell you that. Here's the breakdown. Now, the Rockwell, and hopefully I try and have these somewhat together. Okay, so like I said, here's the TwoSun knife right here. And there's the test. And, it gives you the calibration date and all that stuff. But right there, 60.3 according. And I don't think Kurt did these tests. He wrote down the results. Another guy in the shop did these actual tests. So you can see they got a lot going on around here in this shop. Yeah, it looks like a shop. It's so cool. I worked at a machine shop for 3.5 years after I got out of college. Great degree there, liberal arts. But, I mean, it was neat. I really enjoyed it, actually. I enjoyed it. I don't know that the shop enjoyed me as much. I'm not really a born creative tool and die kind of guy. In any case, so this is the TwoSun TS80. Yes, it's real D2. Yes, the HRC is 60.3. Okay? He tested was the scales. TI6-4. That's the titanium. So apparently, I mean, there's different qualities or grades of titanium. And he goes, wow, I couldn't believe it. It's TI6-4, which is good. See, I'm not an expert on this stuff. And I'm going to be learning, along with maybe some of you as well, will be learning. And this is like the picture of the scan or whatever that goes with it in any case. So, you know, he was like, wow, previous models, and I don't know if I can say that with certainty on this one. This is an earlier model TwoSun knife, and he goes, you know, wow, they're really testing out now true to form, unlike previous models. And I'm going, what does that mean? I thought these were D2 as well. And he goes, you know what? Some of the earlier models, they say D2, but they're a tool steel, but they're a Chinese equivalent D2, like a 12CR, whatever. And I go, oh my God, I can't believe that. Really? That's not good. And he goes, no, it's not that bad. Actually, it's heat treated correctly, and it's really good. And it's very, very similar to D2. But in any case, he was just saying that, yes, even the previous models, and this may be one of them. I'm going to send this out for testing and get more definitive on that. Okay, so I don't know which TwoSun knives were produced with the 12CR stuff and how many are now with the true D2. So more testing required. Also going to get some HRC Rockwell on this, figure out where we are on that. Okay, so I kept this, I grabbed this off my knife sales, like, good thing it didn't get bought, because we're going to send this. In any case, next. So he was so thrilled with this knife, I sold it to him. He says, I want it back. How much? And I gave him a hell of a price. I mean, look what he's doing. God, it's just amazing. Okay, Tuyaknife. Come on, buddy. So obviously we're not testing the titanium because there isn't. It's G10. It's D2. I love the Bruiser. It's so usable, but they're a fairly new brand in the USA. They came sneaking in the back door. I found out about them through a viewer that tipped me off, and I've been with them for a long time as far as enthusiastic about their knives and stuff. But it took a while for everybody else to kind of figure out that they were around, and now they're getting a lot of kudos. And guess what? D2, okay? And it's the Bruiser, of course, real D2, and the HRC is 59.7, so almost 60. That's great. I mean, there's your information on that. Cool. Next. But, you know, ceramic bearings, it's a great user knife. A lot of people really like these. And, you know, we're going to test some of the titanium ones coming up because I've got bunches of them. So I've got almost every model they've come out with so far. Now, let's talk about the dirt bags that are knocking off the Dmitry Senkovich design called the Jeans. It was made by Sergei Shergorov, and there was like 200 and some made, and they were like, I don't know, $2,600 a piece, something like that. And so these are made by Green Thorn, and obviously they're not a counterfeit where you'd be, because they're not using their logo or anything in here. But I mean, I got information from a viewer, I think Richard Rigsby, when he was over in Iraq. In any case, he says, oh, you ought to try that. That Jeans is really a cool knife. And he loved it. And okay. So I got the M390, and that cost $230 something. And then later he says, oh, you know, the D2 is really good. And I got the D2, which was like $80. And they look identical. And I'm going, is that really M390? Is that really even D2? Well, let me pull that information. There we go. Yes, compared to the Spyderco M390, this is real M390. The HRC is 59.1. And here you go with this part. If this means, I mean, I have not gone through all this stuff. Messing my hands up. I have not gone through all this stuff, but I just thought I'd put this out here so you can get it in video, black and white, color, whatever. I mean, that you can see in black and white what the test results were. Okay, and there's that little scan picture that goes along with it. And then the tie scales is interesting because he checked the tie and he goes, yes, it's titanium. What grade is a little murky right there. So, got that. And, you know, hey, I'm just glad that it's M390. That's freaking awesome. Next. And then the D2 model. Well, you can see right there, their guns loaded for that in the data bank. So it is D2. And the HRC is 61. Wow. So there you go with that. Just thought it'd be interesting for you. Oh, this has got these, wow, has got some bearings in it. These are free floaters that are really incredible. So here's some information on these Green Thorn jeans knives, and this is pretty old. This is months ago. I wasn't going to put a review of this on my channel because it's a, you know, it's a stolen design basically. There we go. So there's what the M390 model looks like. These multi-row bearings are free floaters in here, and so they can fall out. They're not captured. So be careful if you ever get one of these and you take it apart. But it's real M390. And I don't think I have a picture of the D2 one taken apart. And I think they may actually be captured ceramic bearings in this one. So in any case, yeah, fascinating. That's enough of those guys. Let's talk about the CH knives. That was really pretty big for me to want to do because on some of the listings, and you know, I get mine directly from Ping, except no, I bought these through the store, and I've bought others through the store as well, but there's a CH knife store on DH Gate. That's where I've got a couple more on order. I just bought them, and I've got quite a few CH knives in my drawer. And so I sent these for testing. Okay, now let's take a look. The CH 3516. Okay. So CH 3516. It is HRC 57.6. So in their listing, they say 59 to 60 on their Rockwell. Now, this one actually tested at 57.6, so it's a little soft. I don't know. I mean, you know, you can, how much the actual performance will suffer. A lot of HRCs are 58 to 60 if you look at knives that are being produced. So 58 to 60, how far off a 0.4 is that going to suffer in performance? Don't know, but it's real S35VN tested against the Spyderco one, okay? That kind of thing. Here's your Spyderco 59.6. This is the S35VN, the brown one here. And you can tell that they were tested for Rockwell as well because there's the little, and each one of these knives has a little divot on it because they were all tested. So both these knives, both the Para 3, and here's your readout, and the Para 3 M390, 59.6 as well. There's your readout. There's the knife. There's the little divot from the Rockwell testing. They sent pictures of the Rockwell getting calibrated and the calibration disc, the 65 HRC. So that kind of thing. It seems like, you know, they did a really good job. And hey, here's the CH3507, which is supposedly M390. And we compared it against the paramilitary the Para 3 in M390 from Bento Box, and yes, it's a match, and it is a 58.6 HRC, so not bad there. I'm really happy about that. Oh man, this is a good knife. I saw it for 120 bucks online just the other day, so they go anywhere between there and 138, but for 120 bucks, M390 and titanium, wow, that's pretty sweet. Okay, so like I said, here's the titanium results on the 3507, and like he said, yeah, not sure if it's TI6-4 or TC4, so that will be yet to be determined. I expect it probably be TC4. I mean, I don't expect this TI6, but in any case, it may be, actually. So, there you go. Wow, what a mess, huh? Last but not least, our Koenig Arius. This is called LTK's Budget Arius. And I don't know, I was putting in an order, probably getting some CH knives or something, and I threw this on the cart just for sure. I had seen this on eBay. Some guy was trying to sell this for like 45 bucks or something. And I go, I've never seen that before. So I go, oh, must be somewhere on AliExpress. Sure enough, there it is, 1992. Get the murdered out version or whatever. In any case, so it said D2 steel, right? And I'm going, homie, don't think so, but we'll test it. So I got it. We tested it, and guess what? Hell no, it's not D2 steel. Of course it's not. So, I mean, at least we can suffice it to say that we did find a cheater and a liar in here. But, this is the kind of stuff I expect. It's one of those things where there are Chinese knives, and then again, there are Chinese knives. You know what I mean? So, you've seen the Mall Ninja crap and gas station stuff and this and that. So, yes, there are still those. And here's the HRC. Woo, baby. 55.9. Woo, knocking it out. 5CR15 MOV. He says that was the closest match to that. And here's the sheet. Yeah, not D2. Closer to 5CR15 MOV. Here's your test. And I'm going to have Fura knives tested. I'm going to have Y-Start, the G10 ones that say they're D2. I'm going to have them tested. We're going to go forward and test some other knives. Says D2. Is it? No. It's 5CR, probably, somewhere in there. And, but Kurt did say 55.9 is about appropriate for this alloy. So, do I know that for sure? No, I didn't do any research. I'm just throwing it at you, dudes. But, I mean, he said, from what he understands, yes, that'd be appropriate heat treat for that. And, hey, will it cut? Yeah. I mean, it's sharp. Just like that. In any case, poor man's Arius. But this one was a bit of a disappointment. This was a little too low. And so I'll be interested in seeing what the cutting performance is like. So many people have bought these, and they are a great bargain at 28 to 32, 35 bucks. That's just a hell of a deal. How's the cutting performance going to be? I don't know, and I was chatting with a guy earlier today about that, and I said, to tell you the truth, I don't do enough continual multi-cutting chores to where I would know how many cuts I got out of a knife. I pick it up, I open it up, I cut a few things open, I go, do some other things, put it down the next day, and I'll rotate knives. And so by the time the smoke clears, I don't know how many cuts I've done with this knife. I just know it's 3 or 4 months later and it needs to be sharpened. So, it's hard for me to gauge that until you sit down and actually, like Cedric does, do a performance cutting test. The question I wanted to answer, though, was, Is it real D2? Is it real M390? Is it real S35VN? Is it real titanium? You know, and then the question, like I've responded to some people, say, you know, and the big question is, what's the heat treat like? Because, I mean, you can get an M390 knife and it'll cut worse than D2 because it's not properly heat treated. So that is the big question. This was just a 4/10 under a 58, but this is like 1.4 under a 58. That's, you know, 56.6 or 56.7, whatever that was. That's a little on the soft side. It'll be interesting to see. And you guys, there's a lot of you guys out there that have these knives, so report back. Although I might have got the odd one too. You know, I might have got the odd one. This may be, you know, the only one that's under 58 out there. I don't know. In any case, have I thrown enough craziness at you for one day? I mean, the green thorn stuff, the Tuya, the CH, we've got the spider coes all over in here that we had tested, this crazy Arius nonsense, and of course the TwoSun knife, which we're going to do some more testing on the TwoSuns because we have older models that are floating around and we have new models coming out. So I've got some coming in. I'm going to send some out for testing. I've got Fura, Y-Start coming in, going to send them out for testing. We're going to find out. You know, at least knowledge is that much power that you have when you're trying to make a decision on buying a knife. When it's like a $28 shooter, it's probably not as important as it is if you're going to blow $240 on something, or even $80 to $85 on something, you know? And, you know, I saw these recently at $96 a piece. Tell you what, that's a hell of a deal. Kurt was saying when he was at the shop, especially this knife got a lot of attention from his coworkers and even offers to buy. So, you know, that's just my favorite CH right now. It really is. But I'll tell you, this M390 is rocking it too. This is a little on the under 4/10, but this one is right there. It's okay. I'm going to leave you alone. I don't even know where Flanagan is. I don't even care where Flanagan is. He's buried. That dude is buried. In any case, I appreciate you guys coming in and, there he is. Kind of checking this whole thing out. We're going to do more testing. We're going to show you pictures of the Rockwell. We're going to get the test score sheets in here. And we will know. Now he's got baseline on S35VN and M390, so he knows what that's all about. Going forward, CTS, XHP, you know, different metals we're going to try out and different knives because, you know, it could be a great, you know, known brand, but the heat treat may not be right. And there's been things in the past where that's been discussed by certain well-known American-made manufacturing knives, blah, blah, blah. So, in any case, it's always nice to kind of update and curiosity. It's a good thing, right? Take care, my friends. You know what we do around here. We make a big damn mess. We love them knives. Yes, we do. So, stay sharp.